is Lucretia Austin. I'm here to inform you all on the importance of parent involvement in childhood education. I can recall a conversation that I had with a coworker at one point. She was very upset about her child not being able to pass the tax test, and for that reason not being able to be promoted to the next grade. If you all don't know, the tax test is a test in Texas that students have to take to be able to be promoted to the next grade. I know when I lived in Texas, it was something we did from the 4th, 5th, 6th, all the way up until our senior year. So if you don't pass that test, you're not being promoted to the next grade. Then she was really upset because her kid couldn't pass that test, so he couldn't graduate. So as I was speaking with her, I didn't want to be rude and just tell her, well, what did you do to help your child succeed? But that was something that definitely ran across my mind. Now, today again, I will be telling you all about the importance of parent involvement. My credibility is I have a 3-year-old who I, of course, want to see succeed, and I'm definitely really involved in his education. Now, if you all think back to my friend whose child couldn't pass that tax test, you'll see that there is one big problem in this situation: her involvement. The solution to this problem is very simple. Basically, she just needs to get involved in her child's education. Now, 2 advantages of being involved in your child's education are actually my main points in this speech. The first advantage is basically it's beneficial to be involved in your child's education. I'll tell you why here in a little bit. Second main point is being involved in your child's education. It can be fun, whether you believe it or not. And the last point I'm going to teach or tell you all about is why you should get involved in your children's education. First, I'll discuss the benefits of being involved in your children's education. Now, you might be looking at me asking, all right, parent involvement, easy enough, right? There's actually a definition for parent involvement, and it includes activities in the school and at home. Parental involvement can take many forms, such as volunteering at the school, communicating with teachers, assisting with homework, and and attending school events such as performances or parent-teacher conference. Now, this definition is from an article written by Bauer H.A. Griffin, and it's called The Model of Parental Involvement, Work in the High Minority, High Poverty Elementary Schools. Now, one of the benefits of being involved in your child's education, you're building relationships with your children. Believe it or not, just simple things such as writing your child's name or showing them how to create those letters, you're building a relationship because they're trusting you. They're looking at you, teaching them, basically. You also enhance your child's self-esteem, telling that child that you're doing a great job, you're smart, you're important, you can do this. All that kind of stuff, it promotes this self-esteem, so you're actually helping your child out in another way as well. And if you're anything like me, it motivates these parents to actually seek higher education themselves. I know one contributor to me actually enrolling back in school after I graduated high school was me having my son. I didn't want my son ever to get to a point where he was in school and I couldn't help him with his homework. So that was one of the main reasons why I myself started to go back to school. Now that I've talked about some of the benefits of getting involved in your children's education, I will discuss how fun it can be to get involved with your children and their education. There are plenty of ways you can get involved. One of the easiest ways you can get involved is reading with your children. In an article written by Kabak in 1998 called Hey Parents, Grab a Book and Join the Reading Group, it basically spoke about these parents who they wanted to motivate their children to read, but the kids, they never seen their parents reading, so when the parent tells them, hey, go read that book, they don't want to do it. They don't think it's fun. But as a parent, if you're sitting around the house and you're reading just at your leisure and your kid sees you doing that, of course, they're going to think, well, shoot, if my mommy does it, she thinks it's fun, well, I'm going to think it's fun too. Kids emulate what parents do. Another way you can get involved is with the schoolhouse. Oftentimes, school, they have an open door policy. I know at my son's daycare, I can go in there anytime I want. You don't necessarily have to just be going to conferences or school field trips or anything like that. You can just walk into the school, take a seat with your child, not say anything, just be a fly on the wall, and just watch and see what they're doing. And in the time frame that you can actually help, go over there, just help them out. It's as simple as that. Another way you can get involved with your child's education is YouTube. Now, with me, I have a 3-year-old, and it's often difficult for me to find age-appropriate things that he actually enjoys doing. I tried the workbooks, hated it. He didn't want to do anything with it because he just didn't think it was fun. But I discovered YouTube. YouTube actually has so many channels that you can actually log on to, and it just tells you step-by-step activities that you can do with your children. And the TV. Some parents think that TVs are detrimental to their child's education because they're just sitting in front of it doing nothing. But according to Jabbar F., they didn't list his first name, but according to him, TVs can actually be good. Turning on the TV, it won't turn off the child's cognitive skills. What I do with my son is, if we're watching a TV show, I have the option of being able to pause the TV show. So they give, where they have those counting activities, you can pause the TV and get excited with them, like, hey, let's count this together and count with them. And again, that's another way you can get involved with your child's education. Lastly, I'll discuss why you should be involved in your children's education. Children are more likely to succeed when they have positive home support of their education. That's just a given. Another reason, everything can't be taught at school. I know there's a big debate about sexual education being taught in schools. I can't say if I'm for it or against it, but what I can say is I would prefer to teach my child something like that at home. So that's a life lesson that can be taught at home. And one last thing that's a good reason or why you should is the student-parent ratio. If you have 2 children or 1 child and you have 2 parents in the household, you can have that one-on-one time with your student or your child that teachers don't have the privilege to. They can't just, work specifically with that one child all the time. Now, I've basically discussed 3 main points in my persuasion speech as to why you should be involved in your child's education. I discussed the benefits of being involved in your child's education. I discussed how fun it can be, and I discussed why you should be involved in your child's education. So the next time you hear your child running up to you like, "Mommy, or Daddy, I want to learn. I want you to show me how to do this." Don't just ignore them. Actually, you should probably take that time and just sit down with them and engage. Just show the audience one more time. Thank you. How many minutes?
7 minutes.